Hello and welcome to Market Ki Baatein. And this is going to be a very interesting session as we are heading into a very interesting part of technical analysis. So while I'm waiting for my friends to join in, let's try and find out how are my friends going to handle this particular session and what do they exactly do. Well, markets are all about how you face each day, and as people are joining in, hello everyone, good to have you all. और इस बार मार्केट की बातें में वी आर गोइंग टू हैव अ 3-part series and we are going to discuss about something which is very important as part of this entire journey of a trader or mostly of a trader, क्योंकि काफ़ी समय लोगों को ये तकलीफ होता है और मैं बात करना चाहूँगा गैप्स के बारे में. यस, how many of you are aware of gaps and how many of you actually welcome the gaps? क्योंकि हमेशा मैंने देखा है कि मार्केट्स में काफ़ी सारा चीज़ होता है, ऊपर नीचे होता है, और आज भी आप देखेंगे कि मार्केट बेस्ड ऑन yesterday markets were supposed to open positively and they were expecting that yes, markets will open in a much better way, but then when the way markets behaved, it was actually a gap down moment, and yes, the overall sentiment always gets disturbed. So that's why you need to understand that yes, gap trading जो है, गैप को कैसे समझना है और गैप्स में कैसे काम करना है, it becomes very important. So how many of you out there actually trade on gaps? Are you all aware that there is something called as gaps in the market? Everyone is able to see on the charts, but then when the gaps occur, what happens in your mind? आपके टॉप फ्लोर में क्या घंटी बजता है? हाँ? Can you tell me what exactly happens when you actually encounter a gap? Gaps are something which keep happening and which always keeps happening on the charts. But then how are you guys acting on it? Because gaps keep occurring at all points in time. And when you are not able to understand how to face the markets, you will always have that challenge. Can anyone tell me why are gaps formed? Can anyone tell me why are gaps formed? Yes, Prashant, you're right. We should welcome the gaps. But then gaps क्यों होते हैं? Can anyone tell me that? Okay, good to see that Prashant likes the gaps. And what really happens? What do you feel that happens when a gap occurs? And why does a gap occur? Gap occurs because of the expectation. Okay, gap occurs because of the expectation which people are having for a particular turn of events. So people are expecting that the market is positive and everyone is getting crowded at the door. Just imagine that सब लोग एक डोर में they are pressurizing the door, और डोर अगर डोर पे अगर सब लोग प्रेशराइज करेंगे, जब वो डोर खुलेगा, okay, just imagine some sale at the time of sale. For example, if you are just getting crowded at the door, so what will happen is when the door opens, the person is actually not going to begin at the doorstep. He's going to actually jump much ahead because he will be pushed. So the push which occurs actually creates the gap. So on the charts, on the price, what you actually see, the gaps are untraded price area. Gaps are referred as untraded price area. यानी कि जहां पर भी आपको गैप दिखता है, तो those are areas where trading has not happened. वहां पर there are a lot of anticipation which is there, but then because of the push which emerged, the gap got created. And that's why you will see that the gaps on the charts, if you see around in the Nifty, for example, there were sufficient gaps around the 11,430 zone. Once that gap got filled, some of you have written that gaps get filled. When the gaps get filled, then that is a good point to see कि अगर gap fill के बाद, so gap fill हो जाता है, तो then it is an indication that yes, people who had bought on the gap up, or those who were long earlier, they are now exited and then they are waiting for the gap to be filled. A gap fill, and subsequently if a recovery happens from there, that means that is the point to initiate the trade in that direction. So gaps are a significant indicator of momentum. और जब भी gap आता है, like for example few days ago, many of you would have tracked HCL Tech. It opened with a gap up, and the way it moved, HCL Tech, it was a very clear signal. So gaps are very powerful, and gaps should always be tracked. And this is what I'll be covering as how to see them and what kind, and more such interesting and important elements for every novice and basic trader in my workshop. I'm doing a WhatsApp class on next week. So it's going to run from 21st to 25th. It's a 5-day WhatsApp class. It is for aimed at all the beginners of the market as to how the market really works, and what are the simple elements of markets they should understand. So that I want everyone to understand the market better. So that's why I have designed a very unique class, and it's beginning next Monday. You can check out the link in my bio. You will get an idea of how you should be approaching the markets, simple and effective ways to approach the market, and simple tips and tricks to understand the market sentiment and also make some money along the way. That's what is going to be the agenda. So it's aimed at all beginners. If some college student is watching this, if some housewives are watching, or if some working professional is watching, and you all want to get started in the market, then that is the class you should be looking for. The link is in the bio, and I will be showing you the various simple ways in which I have learned over the years, I have profited over the years, and how a simple trading system can help you generate consistent income. So that's what is the agenda of the program. And now coming back to the gaps, gap trading is a very significant element of every trader. Every trader को जानना है कि gaps को कैसे समझना है. Many people are afraid of gaps. Okay, let me have a vote. आप लोग बताइए कि आप लोग में से कितने लोगों को गैप में ट्रेड करना डर लगता है. How many people are afraid of gaps? Can I have a vote? I'll just maybe take 15-20 seconds and see how many people are afraid of gaps. If you're afraid of gaps, please put a yes on the chat. Let's be honest, guys. When I started my trading, even I was afraid of gaps, because it's nice to see you coming up. Okay, if Shiva is saying hi, then it's a hi, or if you are saying that you're afraid of gaps, then I welcome your statement. Yes, some of you are saying yes, some of you are saying no. It doesn't matter. Gaps is like standing at the edge of the mountain. Even the best of the best bungee jumper will have butterflies in his stomach. Okay, so gaps are like that. At least when you're going to do bungee jumping, you know that you can actually see the depth. But market में कैसा है, आपको पता नहीं है, अंदाजा नहीं है, unless you're tracking global markets, unless you're tracking SGX. आजकल सुबह सब लोग भगवान देखना भी भूल गए, सब लोग सिर्फ SGX को देखते हैं. So the thing is that the gaps play on the mind. All right. So what you need to understand is, unless and until the gaps in SGX were much deeper, the fall in SGX was much deeper, but markets today, it did not go as deep as we thought. So gaps create an impact on your mind, and that is why you need to know how to work around that gap. That's why in this series I'll be talking about those elements, and I'll be discussing about those elements in the further weeks. But then today I just thought that let me just catch up with you guys, and only some of you have actually come forward and expressed. But what about the others? Are others not aware of gaps, या आपको gaps में interest नहीं है? Why others are not saying anything right now? Because gaps is a very important element. अगर आप लोग participate नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो उसका मतलब है कि आप लोग live है, but then you are just watching a show like you watch on Netflix or Amazon, or just watching an ad. So if you guys participate, it makes the whole discussion more fun. So right now some people have said that yes, they are afraid of gaps. Some people have said that they are not afraid of gaps. But then the number of people out there are many more. So if all of you guys are participating, then it makes it interesting for this discussion. All right. So good to see you. Yes, why some gaps are not filled? Okay. Good to hear that you are saying, Ritesh, that you don't know what gaps are. Gaps are basically an untraded price area. They are created by the emotions which are there in the price. So if you have studied the price, price is basically representing emotions. And when emotions go at an extreme on the upside, you will have an upward gap. When emotions go extreme on the downside, you will have a downward gap. So that's how gaps are formed. And coming to your question, I don't know your name, but then Shake Now. So just like your title, your handle, Shake Now. So gaps are basically gaps happen when people are gaps actually shake up the people, and gaps, why they are not filled. Okay, it's a very interesting question. And why gaps are not filled is because when the gaps are formed, okay, when the gaps are formed, they are formed with certain expectation. और उसके बाद जो गैप से खुलता है प्राइस, वहां पर थोड़ी प्रॉफिट बुकिंग आती है. बट देन इफ द प्रॉफिट बुकिंग इज नॉट सो सीवियर, the gaps, the prices will not come down so much in case it is an upward gap. In case it is a downward gap, after the prices short covering happen, the prices will not go up. So in both case, what will happen is that the momentum or the force which is there in the direction of the gap, okay, the force which is there in the direction of the gap, so you should trade in that direction. So what will essentially happen is you can't wait for the gap to be filled every time. Okay, so if you go and take a look at our Twitter handle, I had put a post right before the market opened. I had put a post where I said that the pullback which will come in the morning was a good opportunity to go long, and yes, we got some opportunity as an intraday trader to make some money. Yes, gaps never get filled every day, and the gaps don't get filled on the same day, but then gaps have a predominant nature of acting as support and resistance. जिन्हें टेक्निकल एनालिसिस पता हो, they can use gaps as a important support and resistance in the future. So that's what makes gaps very interesting, because they will be there on the price chart, and it plays along for the future as well. So आज का जो गैप बना है वो आगे चल के कई महीनों तक it can act as an important zone. एंड लार्जली आप गैप देखेंगे इंट्राडे चार्ट्स में, क्योंकि इंट्राडे चार्ट्स में काफी सारे गैप्स दिखते हैं. सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ प्राइस एक्शन, अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ गैप्स, ऑल दीज थिंग्स मेक इट वेरी एसेंशियल फॉर एवरी ट्रेडर. So how to trade with the gaps, what are the kind of gaps, and how to fit it all in, I'll be covering it in my next edition. So next Thursday again it will be gap trading part 2. So today was an introduction to the concept of gaps, why gaps are important and how gaps influence our thinking. ये सारा चीज़ मुझे आपके साथ डिस्कस करना था. अगर आपको इंटरेस्ट है, अगर आपको दिलचस्प है टेक्निकल एनालिसिस में, स्टॉक मार्केट में, और अगर आप एकदम फ्रेश है स्टॉक मार्केट में, तो मेरा जो व्हाट्सएप क्लास है नेक्स्ट हफ्ते में, उसमें आना ना भूले. मेरा जो लिंक है फॉर द व्हाट्सएप क्लास इज देयर इन माय बायो. यू कैन टेक अ लुक एट इट, यू कैन टेक अ लुक एट द कंटेंट्स. इट्स गोइंग टू बी एन एक्साइटिंग टाइम, एंड आई एम गोइंग टू बी शेयरिंग लॉट्स एंड लॉट्स ऑफ डिटेल about the market, how to use the concept of the market, how to use important concepts of fundamentals, how to use technicals, how to form a routine. Lots and lots of things, lots and lots of engagement is there as part of the WhatsApp class. You can take a look at the bio, and I'll be catching you then. Till then, this is Raja Venkatraman signing off. I am the co-founder of NeoTrader and also your trading influencer. I've been in the markets for more than 15 years, happily married with a loving wife and an energetic son who keeps me on the run just like the markets. Thank you friends. फिर मिलेंगे next Tuesday with a sector, and the sector this time which we all have chosen is FMCG. So stay connected to my handle, and also in case you are missing out on some fantastic videos which I am posting, you can get connected to this YouTube channel as well. Okay, see you all, signing off. Have a good day, stay safe, stay healthy.